in COVID-19 time, it's March 55th, as my friend Jeremy Zillar says, meaning every day has that feeling of being like the day before. But this is a very particular and special day. It would be the 101st birthday of Pete Seeger, a close friend of many of the people you'll meet today, who was an absolute foundational part of the folk music scene and one of the world's most zealous and energetic campaigners for human progress that I have never ever met, that anyone would ever have met, because he's truly a one of a kind character, a leader who had been active for so long in so many ways. And we miss him terribly, but the one thing he was great at was eliciting, among others, the same energy, in smaller doses perhaps, but he would hold his hand up to his ear while he was playing We Shall Overcome or some other great ballad to make sure the audience was engaged. Audience engagement is a key part of any kind of communication now. It's great to write stories for the New York Times as I did for 20 years. It was great to write stories about climate change for 35 years in magazines and newspapers and on the web. And I learned through that time that um, telling stories is insufficient, that your personal actions, engaging with people, listening to their points of view, capturing momentum going forward from the community up is the way to get top down change if you want top down change. It doesn't come from the top. Leaders don't lead unless the people are in the foreground. So this is going to be a celebration of Pete Seeger. It's also going to be a celebration in honor of those who are on the front lines all around us in this battle with a virus that emerged just 4 months ago somewhere in Wuhan, China. There was this crossover that happened, a species of virus that has never been in a human being, propagated rapidly. It took our great acceleration components of the Earth system, now the human systems, and it vaulted itself around the world in ways that have caused unbelievable impacts, both biological and social and economic, around us. This program called Sustain What has been examining these issues, the communication challenges, the scientific challenges every week during the week. And on Sundays, we turn to reflection and we turn quite a bit to song. So we're going to celebrate Pete today. We're also going to celebrate and honor those around us who are working so hard to keep society functioning, and particularly the healthcare workers and caregivers and institutions taking care of our elderly and infirm, and to the scientists who are trying really hard to figure this out amid a lot of an information storm that doesn't feel very useful sometimes. So thanks for being here. This is particularly in honor of Clearwater, the Hudson River Sloop Clearwater. I'm just going to show you. I don't think you'll be able to hear it, but I want to show you the 40th anniversary of this boat. I shot this video of Pete rechristening the boat at his 40th birthday. He was 90 at that time, and there's Toshi, the wonderful force behind Pete Seeger, and alongside him, and the next generation, and the captain of the Clearwater. It was one of the great moments in the river. There he is singing one of his ballads. And you're going to hear from some of the foundational voices who were on that boat very early on today. And right now, it's like so many things, this boat is not sailing. They were the Clearwater organization, clearwater.org, which I hope you'll support, is in terrible financial straits right now, as are so many nonprofit organizations that rely on direct impact, direct work with people. And I hope you'll support the Clearwater organization through the course of this next hour or two. So let's start right away with some of the people who are here. I'm going to turn off that window and introduce you to Laurie Siegel and Karen Brooks. Karen has been a mainstay on this program, and David as well, we're all members of a collective, I guess you'd call it, of musicians and poets called Breakneck Ridge Review. Let me just close one more thing here. And Karen and Laurie are part of a subset of another group called Trouble Sisters, and they're the good kind of trouble. They're the kind of trouble you want in your life. Great voices, great souls. So if Karen and Laurie, you can unmute yourselves. And David, I think David actually, you have the first slot here. So David, can you unmute yourself and let's see
Sure.
if
Yeah.
you're Can you hear me, first of all?
Yeah, I can hear you all fine now. It's all working.
Good. I'm glad.
Is the background noise better?
Yeah, it all sounds good.
Oh, good.
So David Ross is in Beacon, New York, and just a few miles from me, but we haven't seen each other face to face for weeks. And
But I'm growing an Andy Revkin beard, though.
yeah, there we are. And I'm growing hair like never before.
Wow.
And here's Lori and Karen too. So David, what song did you have in mind?
Well, you know, I was going to sing a classic, and but I see that Karen's going to sing that, which is great, which is Rainbow Race, and because in a way, Rainbow Race really talks about the time we're in right now, about people understanding that we're all in this together. I heard somebody responding to that militia activity in Michigan and the kind of right wing attempts to shut down the distancing that's been so useful in bringing the epidemic under control by saying, you know, there's no pissing section in a swimming pool.
Yeah.
And I think we have to recognize that people who are frustrated by the fact that they can't work and they're not making a living, we can have enormous sympathy, and we should do everything we can to support them. That's what government should do. We should pay them. We should give them money. We should make sure they have food and that their rent is paid and their insurance is paid, all of that. Because otherwise, if we go back to normal and people walking around and spreading it again, we're sure to get a flare up again, either this summer or late summer or early fall, and we really can't sustain that. But it all speaks to how we need to keep the message alive that we're all in this together, and singing is one way of doing it. Andy, this show that you've done and the show you do during the week with your academic colleagues is really terrific and really incredibly useful. And of course, there are others going on all over the internet right now. It's kind of a moment where the internet is really, for all of the negative stuff that's happened with the internet, this is a moment where the internet is really serving the purpose that we'd hoped it would back in the early 90s when it was just being invented, which is to create a sense of community, sense of mutual responsibility, and to support what your friend Ina calls the great compassion.
Can you hold on? I just want to double check. There was a comment that came in and said they couldn't hear me. So I'm just checking. Hello out there. Can you all hear me?
I can hear you,
I know
David,
you
I hear you fine.
but David's very loud.
Can you hear me,
Yeah.
Karen?
Let me turn down my mic a little bit. Is that better, Karen?
No, it's fine. I just worried that the audience can't hear me.
I can hear you better now.
Not you
That's
guys. Can you hear me?
Not us. Okay.
Anyhow, I'm going to sing.
Wait, David. I
Yeah,
need to
I'm
get
sorry.
a confirmation. Oh yeah, good. Hear it. Someone said we can. Okay, you're all set. I just want to be sure.
So just to get the music started here, and this
Yep.
song that'll probably be sung several times today, should be, and that is "If I Had a Hammer."
Great.
Pete recognized the power of song. It was his hammer, and we all have to use that hammer now. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out warning, I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening, all over this land. I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out warning, I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. If I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, I'd sing out warning, I'd sing out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Well, I've got a hammer, and I've got a bell, and I've got a song to sing all over this land. It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. It's the It's the hammer of justice. It's the bell of freedom. It's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land.
That's a great one. An epic song, and never more germane, never more relevant.
Well, you know,
Thank you, David.
This is a time when we all have to sing together. And I hope Karen's going to sing Rainbow Race and the way she said she will. And what I would hope is that everybody sings along at home together with her.
Yes, that's. I just posted a note saying, "Please do sing along and dance if you can, whatever comes to mind." So, Karen, can you also describe a little bit about where you are? And normally, Karen and Lori and Melissa Ortquist would be singing in beautiful harmony together.
Oh, we missed that, don't we?
But we are not yet technologically there.
No.
So, Karen, we're all going to be with you, both of you, singing the next few minutes here.
Oh, good.
How are things going up in rural Massachusetts?
Things are, the grass is green. It's not quite long enough to put the sheep out on pasture, but I went for my first walk yesterday without just going to the barn and dealing with stuff. I've been struggling, but yeah, it's starting to switch. It's over 40 today. I think it might be 50. And I have 21 lambs right now. And of course, I'd love to show you lambs later. We'll see where we are. I think it might be have to wait till next week if it's going to be a long show today. But yeah, it's very rural, very peaceful and beautiful, and always very isolated. So this is kind of my norm has been to come to the Hudson Valley and get together with my music friends when it gets too isolating. But obviously right now we can't do that. So I get to see you guys here.
My couch is lonely, Karen.
Oh, I miss your couch. Anyway.
And Lori, you're in Beacon, just a few blocks from David.
Yes, that's right.
So
I could walk there.
What's your life? What's your life now?
My life is, well, I'm thankfully able to work from home, which has been really great. I have been thankful to live where I live and be able to take beautiful walks along the Hudson River. Of course, that makes me think about Pete a lot, actually. Mm-hmm. So I'm very grateful to live where I live and to be able to spend all that time outdoors. And when I'm not working or outdoors, I'm trying to do some music, and I spend a lot of time on Zoom and other platforms. So. And
you're a social worker, right?
I'm a social worker, yes.
So what's that like these days?
Well, I work for the state, but I work within a school setting in a program that's based in a school. So, of course, all our offices are closed, and we've retained the kids that we were working with. I speak with them and their parents on the phone and with FaceTime, and I have meetings, phone meetings with my colleagues, and do my paperwork. I have my work computer, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
That is essential work right now.
Yeah. Some of the families I work with are, dealing with, like, one of my clients has a parent who works in a hospital, and so there's all kinds of stress.
Great.
For that. So.
Okay, so let's have some music. Maybe each of you can offer a tune, and we'll circle back to David and see if we can get one more from each of you before the first half hour is out. Just so everyone knows, we're doing sort of 30-minute sets going through. It's going to be a bit of a marathon through around 3 hours. And as the scrolling thing below says, this Pete Seeger session is in support of the sloop Clearwater, which needs your help more than ever. That boat was already having trouble with a funding shortfall. And it's an invaluable environmental education tool and broader emblem of environmentalism and sustainability. So do support that effort. So Karen.
Is there a way to donate on Facebook? Is it set up so people could click and make a donation to Clearwater?
The clearwater.org website is the best place.
Okay. All right, good. This is a slow song. Lori, you want to go first and do an upbeat song or no? I guess
sure. It doesn't matter. Do you want me to go first? I'll go first.
Yeah, go first, and I'll do it because mine's awfully slow.
Okay. Well, my song is, and this is an important song right now. It's not written by Pete, but he used to sing it a lot. It was written by Woody Guthrie, and we want to celebrate all the union workers out there right now who are on the front line doing all the hard work right now. So, and I'm also a union member, I have to say, and very proud to be one, and very lucky to be one, because I, that's part of the reason why I'm able to have the privilege of working from home and having the safety measures in place that I have to be able to do what I'm doing. So I'm thankful for that. So I hope you'll sing along with me. There once was a union maid who never was afraid of the goons and the gangs and the company fates and the deputy sheriff who made the raid. She went to the union hall where her meeting it was called, and when the company boys came round, she always stood her ground. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. Well, this union maid was wise to the tricks of the company's spies. She'd never be fooled by the company's tools. She'd organize the gals and guys. She'd always get her way when she struck for higher pay. She'd show her card to the company guard, and this is what she'd say. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. Well, you women who wanna be free, take a little trip from take out that mold, you've all been sold. You got fighting history, the workbook, the fight for women's rights. Good workers must unite, and like Mother, don't just move those bones to the front of every fight. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I die. One more time. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. Oh, you can't scare me, I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union till the day I
die. Great one.
Thank you.
Great
Yay,
one.
Lori, that was awesome.
Yeah. I heard y'all singing with me.
Oh, yeah.
So Michael Gersh from Riverpool and Man and Joe Green from Clearwater both wave hello from
nice.
the messages there.
Hello.
I hope everyone out on,
Anna.
everyone on Facebook and YouTube, wherever you're watching this, I hope you'll be sharing it. There's another couple of hours to go, so anyone can pop in, pop out, support clearwater.org. The Sloop needs you. And support live music indirectly and directly. There's so many musicians, including those who you'll see today, who are working hard as musicians, and their lives have been disrupted as well. So find ways to support them. Karen, what you got?
All right, I'm going to do a Pete song that I love, Rainbow Race. And I really wish you guys were able to sing harmony on this, but we'll just be singing it.
We can mute and...
That's right. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping all our shore, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow race. It's too soon to die. Some wanna be like an ostrich, bury their heads in the sand. Some hope for plastic dreams to unclench all those greedy hands. Some wanna take the easy way out, poisons and bombs, they think we need 'em. Don't you know you can't kill all the unbelievers? There's no shortcut to freedom. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping on our shore, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow race. It's too soon to die. Go tell all the little children, go tell mothers and fathers too. Now's our last chance to share what's been given to me and you. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping on our shore, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more? And because I love you, I'll give it one more try to show my rainbow race. It's too soon to die. One blue sky above us, one ocean lapping on our shore, one earth so green and round, who could ask for more?
Wow. Gorgeous. Karen, it was beautiful. There was a bit of lag toward the end, but the song it came through perfectly.
Thank you.
So I know it's a good reminder that, you know, we all who are connected online have a privilege in that. We've had a session here several weeks ago with one of the leading people in Washington, Dan Castro, who's working for full broadband access as a basic right. And it is, when you think about the safety issues, the education issues, the gaps in capacity that come with not being able to access information online in this world today, that's a prime priority. So, and Karen has stressed that many of her neighbors in rural Massachusetts, as anyone who lives in a rural area knows, the norm is still the telephone. And I'm hoping people reach out to those who are cut off from internet access and keep them informed. Karen, that was beautiful.
Thank
we
you.
have a few more minutes in this opening round. So David, do you have another quick?
Yeah, I was going to do a song from the Almanac Singers. I don't want your millions, mister, because, well, it seems as relevant today as ever. I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want your diamond ring. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again. Now I don't want your Rolls Royce, mister. I don't want all your pleasure yacht. All I want is food for my baby. Give me my old job back. We work to build this country, mister. Oh, why you enjoy the life of ease? You've stolen all that we built, mister. Now our children, they starve and freeze. No, I don't want your millions, Mr. Oh, I don't want your diamond ring. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again. Well, think me dumb, if you wish, mister. Call me green or blue or red. There's one thing I sure know, mister. My hungry baby, they must be fed. Take the two old parties, mister. No difference in them I can see. But with a farmer labor party, we could set the people free. Well, I don't want your millions, mister. Well, I don't want your diamond ring. All I want is the right to work, mister. Give me back my job again. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again.
Beautiful. Another great one.
Nice,
Thanks, Andy.
David.
Hey, Karen. Hey, Lori. Andy. I can't wait till we can all get together again. It's been really too long since we could sing in harmony.
Although
Yeah.
I have to say, I just was with walking around the grounds of the Garrison Institute, one of our wonderful open space places near here, yesterday, and ran into John Teagle, and we were talking about it being time, and it is possible to do a safe distancing jam. You know, I'd say I give it 10 feet, 10 feet between us. It's doable now.
I don't think we can do that in my studio. It's a little bit
No,
too
but we can do it on the grounds of the Garrison Institute or in my backyard. So
that would be
Outside.
so great, Andy.
that's
That
the
would be
next
great.
step. We're getting
Andy,
some really
thank you
nice.
so much for doing this, Andy. I hope people understand how much work this is for you to make this show happen every week. And it's become, well, you know, the days just drift into one another these days. And this show is one of the ways I know, hey, it's Sunday.
Yeah,
Get to
good.
be with some friends again.
Well, let's keep it rolling here. Lori,
You can drop me out right now, Andy. I'm going to listen.
Yeah, listen, and I may call you back. You know, there could be some gaps going on later, you know, if there's technical issues. So, and I'm hoping everybody is watching, is sharing this. Please share your feed, tweet it, Facebook share, get this around, because we're going to be building a crescendo here through the morning, New York Eastern time, wherever you are. I believe Joseph Pupe is going to be joining us in the next half hour from Lusaka, Zambia. But before we shift over, I'd like to give Lori, you haven't been on. You were on very early, and then you've on now. So weeks ago, and so give a quick, if you have a quick rousing song, it'd be wonderful before we shift to the next group.
I can do. The next song in my mind, that's a Pete song, is a hopeful song. "Darkest Before the Dawn." I could do that one.
Yeah, let's do that as a transition to the next cohort here.
Yeah, I think this is a song to give us all a little bit of hope that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You know it's darkest before the dawn, and this thought keeps me moving on. If we could heed these early warnings, the time is now, white early morning. If we could heed these early warnings, the time is now, white early morning. Some say that humankind won't long endure, but just what makes them so doggone sure? If only can hear my singing. We'll keep those freedom bells ringing. If all of you can hear my singing, make those freedom bells ringing. And so we keep on while we live, until we have no more to give. And when these fingers can strum no longer, and the old banjo too young but stronger, and when these fingers can strum no longer, and the old banjo too young but stronger, you know it's darkest before the dawn, and these thoughts keep us moving on. If we could hear these early mornings,
Thank you.
I apologize. I had a little bit. I know this song so well, and I had a little bit of a brain freeze there.
It was beautiful. It was totally
wonderful.
beautiful.
Wonderful to hear that, Lori. Thank you for singing that.
So before you all sign off for the moment, I want to we have enough room here to bring in a couple of people who are coming in next, who already popped into the green room.
Hey, Joseph.
So the
Hey,
transition
Joseph.
here.
Hey, Paul Rubio.
There's Paul Rubio.
Yay.
and Joseph.
Nice to see you all.
Long time no see.
Yeah.
Hey, Karen.
Hey, Joseph.
Fantastic.
David.
Hey.
Hold on. So, and
Long time no see.
yeah, how are you
Hey,
doing?
hey, hey.
How are things there? How are things in Zambia? Joseph. Oh, maybe he froze again.
Oh, he froze.
Oh,
Okay.
oh,
Gotta be
thanks.
patient.
And going on good. We are going high. I think we are yet to hit our peak of the pandemic, and so spirits are high, efforts are being made, and yeah, basically we're trying. We understand our health system is quite vulnerable,
Yeah,
so we have to use some initiative to get past that. Yeah, but otherwise it's
It's tough. Yeah, I've been
Right.
keeping track of the situation across sub-Saharan Africa, and one of the big issues there is going to be a food problem, both locally and distributing food, and with the lockdown, if there is lockdown, and just these food systems are very fragile in the face of what's going on, as we've seen even here. But
Yeah.
the situation will be even more challenging there. So, okay, David and Lori and Karen, I hope you'll stay with us. I think there will be, in the background, and I think there will be time to pull you back in if we can manage it. So that was a wonderful first set.
Thank
And
you.
thank you all for being part of
Nice to see you guys.
this Pete Seeger salute.
Take it easy, guys,
Yeah,
Take care.
but take it.
yeah, right.
Oh,
And Pat
that was
Lamana is
great.
going to be coming on
That
in a
was
second.
beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, hold
Yeah.
on. Whoops. Here we go. And here's Pat Lamana also.
Hi.
So Pat, you connected with Joseph Poupé
Yes.
virtually, digitally, along with Jim Scott, who will be with us later, and Lori and Karen earlier. What did you think of that when we played that video?
Oh, I was thrilled. I was just really thrilled. And I just learned how to do all this because I took part in the singers, well, what do they call it? The Solidarity Singers version of the Internationale. And
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I still haven't even seen it because it was played at a time when I wasn't able to watch. But he had a very large number. I forget how many, but a ton of singers, 4 parts. And I rehearsed and rehearsed, and then I finally recorded it. So this was a piece of cake compared to that.
Yeah,
And
that's great. Yeah, I'm not like I'm not technologically adept, so I could barely do the four of you.
Well, Andy, it was great. I've
Good.
seen a lot of them, and it turned out great. Who initiated it? Was it Joseph? Or
Joseph had the idea. Yeah, we were emailing, and he said to me, maybe we could do "We Shall Overcome," and he sent a that simple rendition, and I used that as the foundation for the effort. So let's have some introductions. Pat Lamana, could you describe where you are in the world and what you do when you're not singing?
well, I live in Hyde Park, New York, and I got to know Pete actually from the peace vigils that were held um, in the Hudson Valley along a very busy route, and also from the Beacon Sloop Club. What do I do when I'm not singing? Not a lot, because I do a lot of singing. Um, I'm retired from the local community college. I taught human services there. And
Great.
yeah,
And where can people find you? I think it's patlamana.com, right?
patlamana.com is where you can find me.
LAMANNA.com.
Yes, double N. A lot of people get
Right,
that one
right, right,
wrong.
right. And Joseph, I've forwarded to people your Twitter account as a good way to get in touch with you. There's many other ways too. Just search for
Yeah,
Joseph Poupe and song, and you'll find a good story that's
and
been
of
written
course my
about his
YouTube
work.
channel too. Yeah,
And Paul, are you an environmental educator?
I'm an educator.
And
I started off as a social studies teacher. Actually, I followed in my father Vinny Rubio's footsteps. He taught social studies in Ossining, New York, and my connection to Pete is through meeting him when I was about 10. My dad took me up to Beacon, up to his house to do some work, and I wasn't quite sure what I was around at the time, but I grew to understand things a little bit as I got older and came back to it as a young man, and have been with Clearwater and the music all along. But I live in Esopus, New York, which is just south of Kingston, across the river from Pat,
right.
and have been doing music for a long, long time. Betty and the Baby Boomers is the group that I sing with. You can find them at bettyandthebabyboomers.com. You can find us. We got together singing through the Clearwater. We started singing as sloop singers, many of us, and found each other, and we've been together for almost 35 years singing together.
So fantastic. So let's start with Joseph. Joseph, we've always had some challenges with the internet, so I'd love to get a song from you right away, so we can at least make sure we get that on. And if others can
all right.
mute your
I think
sound.
I think you. I think I'm gonna give you my guitar version of the same we shall overcome. It's something that means a lot to me, and especially during these interesting times globally. And I think this was such an amazing piece, and with amazing lyrics and melodies. So I've been singing it all week, and I can't just wait to share it once more to the audience out there, and just tell them we shall overcome. This is just for a bit of some time. So enjoy the song "We Shall Overcome" by Pete Seeger. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We'll overcome in high. We'll overcome in high. We'll come meet her today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe you shall overcome someday. We are not afraid. We are not afraid. We are not afraid today. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome someday. Yeah, we shall overcome.
That was so beautiful. My gosh. I'm just going to take a breath for a minute just to absorb that, how beautiful that was.
No,
Wow.
thank you. Thank you.
So, Pat, on the Hudson River, what did you
Yes.
have in mind?
Well, I had in mind a song that I learned from the singing of Pete back when I was a little kid in summer camp. And I remembered it because it's a fabulous story. And never heard him sing it, or at least, for years and years, I didn't hear him sing it. I looked for it on YouTube. I finally found one version of him singing it live. And so he in the version on YouTube, he's singing it a cappella, but I remembered him doing it with banjo. So I'm going to try it on this beautiful banjo that I bought at Dave Burns' store. And
David will be on in a little while too.
yes, and I saw him on Facebook, so I think he's watching now. At least I hope so. So it's an old murder ballad, but it's got a twist to it. Let's see if I can get this. There was a youth, and a well-bred youth, he been a squire's son, and he did court of an innkeeper's daughter belonging to North Islington. Go get me some of your father's gold, part of your mother's fee, and we will away to some foreign country, and married we will be. She went down to her father's stable, there stood horses 33, and she picked out a real white steed, and he a silvery gray. She mounted on the milk white steed, he on the silvery gray, and they rode until they came to a riverside, 3 hours before it was day. A light, my pretty fair maid, a light, cried he. It's 6 merchants' daughters I've drowned here, and you the 7th shall be. Take off your silken gown and hand it over to me. For I do think your clothing too good for to rot in the salt sea. If I take off my silken gown and hand it over to you, why, I do think it a very great wrong, a naked woman to view. I'll take off my silken gown, I'll lay it on the green. But before that I do, you false young man, you must turn your back on me. And when he turned his back around and faced yon willow tree, with all of the strength this poor maiden had, she shoved him into the sea. Lie there, you false young man, lie there instead of me. 6 pretty maids have you drowned it here, go keep them good company. And as he rose, and as he sang, and as he rose, cried he, oh, give me your hand, my pretty, pretty Polly, my bride forever you'll be. She mounted on the milk-white steed, she led the silvery gray. She rode until she came to her father's house, 1 hour before it was day. Now the parrot was hung in the window so high, where have you been, cried he? I've been away to Scotland Bridge, young Henry lies under the sea. Don't prittle, don't prattle, my pretty, pretty Polly, don't tell no tales on me. And you shall have a cage of the finest gold, and be hung from my ivory tree.
Fantastic. I have that album, the LP.
You do, so it is
Yeah.
recorded.
Yeah. There's a recording of Pete on banjo playing it, and it's fantastic. It was a live recording. Yeah, if I had time, I'd run downstairs to get the LP to show.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
That was fantastic. It was just
Thank
fantastic.
you. Thank you.
So, Paul, we're going to try something because Betty and the Boomers were an ensemble. It's going to be, I got to take off my headphone and I'm going to put the mic down near my computer.
Okay.
I'm going to play the video and we'll see what happens.
If it doesn't work, I can do a song, but it's very hard for me to be Betty and the Baby Boomers. And I should say, by the way, that Betty and the Baby Boomers is Betty Boomer, our namesake, who sings, and Jean Bella-McAvoy, who also sings, Betty and Jean together. Betty plays the mandolin from time to time. And also Steve Stan, who you see there,
Right.
plays dobro and guitar and sings. And Robert Bard is our bass player. This song, you've got Quite Early Morning queued up. I've got 2. If you want to, if we only have time for 1, we should do Old Devil Time.
Okay, I'll switch to that one. I have it too. Hold on a second.
Because I don't want to run out of time. This actually,
and again, we might be able to get it on later in the program.
Okay. This is this was done at WFUV for Bob Sherman, and I added some media, so hopefully it works. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, hold on. And I'm going to put the microphone down here and whoops, hold on.
I'm gonna fool you now. Old devil time, you'd like to bring me down. And when I'm feeling low, my lovers gather round. Help me rise to fight you one lovers gather round, we will rise to sing it one more time. Oh, devil hate, I knew you long ago, till I found out the poison in your breath. Now when I hear your lies, my lovers gather round, they rise to fight you one more time. No storm will fight, they never beat us down. No wind that blows, but carries us further on. And you will fade, my lovers gather round, and we will rise to sing it one more time. We will rise to sing it one more
Wow.
Paul, I'm crying.
That was incredible. I hope the sound came through okay.
It was okay. It worked. It worked.
Good.
Thanks, Andy. That
This
was-
is all an experiment.
Yeah, and I have to say there was a lot of material out there to help.
Oh, that was a fantastic compilation of images too. You really did a great job with that.
Thanks. Yeah,
Wow.
that I was a pleasure to do it, and a pleasure for me to sing with such a wonderful group of people.
Yeah, and Pete's banjo says so much right there. Joseph, I would love one more song from you, if we can fit it in. We do have a few more minutes before 11:30 in the next batch. And again, Paul, we could play maybe the next video later in the, if you want to hang out through the course of the morning.
Andy, you're welcome to. I may not be able to stay, but you're welcome to play them.
Yep. Let me just put my headphone back in. Sorry. And Pat, the same thing. If you can hang out, there may be time for you to do another song too. But that was, I tell you, that was a winner. It brought me back to my childhood.
Andy, I have a song that's only about a minute long, so just keep that in mind.
Good.
Okay?
Yeah, maybe we'll do that. So Joseph, do you have one more? And then we'll see if we can squeak in Pat's 1 minute tune and go to the next group.
Yeah, I do have something. Here it comes. Let's journey together. Let's work together. These are trying times. Let's together collectively we can achieve the unimaginable, and we can get past this cave, or pretty much get ahead of it. So this song is called "Let Us Journey Together." Where we should be, though we won't Bakakumapeto, we stand strong together, tieni pamoja, tieni pamoja. Let's journey together. Tiende pamoja. Let's journey together. Just look around you. See the bright future. Be hopeful. There's a light on the end of the tunnel. No, we won't stop. Bakakumapeto, we stand strong together. Tiende pamoja, tiende pamoja. Let's journey together. Tiende pamoja. Let's journey together. Tiende pamoja. Let's journey together. Yeah, so soon we shall be ahead of the curve. We just need to remain hopeful and be more united. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Joseph, I hope you'll hang around. Can you keep watching on Facebook or Twitter, and then maybe if this time later in the next hour and a half, we can get you back. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And the technology worked.
Sure.
Fantastic. I see Betty Boomer in the. Hold on, let's bring Betty in to say hi.
There she is.
Hi everybody. Thank
Hi.
you so much for all this. It's really wonderful.
Well, thank you for being part of it too. We're about to go to the next cohort of people. Were you going to offer a tune, or I was a little confused by the notes. I thought Paul was.
Maybe if you want to join one of those slots later on, you can, because I'm not able to stay. But you could come back and sing a tune later on.
Well, I might do that. I'll look at the slots and see. I will see. Thanks.
Well, yeah, if you have time, I'd love that. So we can. The morning, this goes till, well, theoretically till 1:30 if we can all hang in there. I just extended the normal time of this show today, so we'll hang on as long as there are people watching.
And if you have lots of people, that's fine with me. I just wanted to say hi and thank everybody, and just this is Pete and Toshi brought us all together.
It's true. Through Pete and Toshi, the woman I'm married to and I met. Because it was David Burns who introduced us, and I would never have known David if I hadn't been going to the Woody, the monthly Beacon Sloop Club jams. And so Pete's Circle of Song was also a Circle of Love.
That's for sure. It's the Hudson Valley link for all of us, many of it. It extends.
Andy, thank you for doing all this. I know you have other people waiting to get going. And Pat, it's good to see you and hear you. And Joseph, it was wonderful.
Oh, and guess what? There's a comment here from
Yes, it was.
Connie Hogarth is just weighing in right
Ah.
now.
Great.
Connie, who was another one of these great foundational hubs of this region in terms of activism on so many fronts, is in 92, I believe, maybe 93. Anyway, Connie, she is an amazing person. She says the way Pete lived his life, enduring values, always up front and embedded in his music, the legacy for us, his local and global family, more vitally important now than ever before. Boy, if that isn't a true fact. Connie, we're doing this for you in large part too. So hang in there. I know some people dig it, and others are very kindly keeping you provisioned and safe. And we all have to
Connie.
do some of that work. So Pat LaManna, maybe we will get back to you a little later if that's okay.
Sure.
There are a couple of very short songs I want to fit in too, like "Old Brown Earth," but we can get there. So let's move to the next cohort of guests. And Kennedy Poupe says hello too. I think that's Tyson. That's Joseph's brother. And here we go. So thank you again to Pat and to Betty and to Paul and to those who've already come. And here's the next cohort getting ready to come in. Hold on a second. I have there's Claudia Gibson
Hey,
from Wimberley,
Kimberly. All right.
Texas. And
Texas.
here's
How do I click out?
Pat. And I thought I saw Lydia. There's Lydia. And there's Lydia. So Betty, I'll remove you there.
Texas.
And here's
How do I click out?
Pat. And I thought I saw Lydia. There's Lydia. And there's Lydia. So Betty, I'll remove you. I'm hearing lots of noise. Where's that coming from?
Someone's volume is on. They need to put their headphones on. Maybe Lydia.
Yeah, you're right.
Lydia, is someone speaking in your
Hello.
Oh, it was in Lydia's yeah, sorry. Hold on. Lydia, there was lots of sound there just now.
I can't hear you. Oh,
We hear you. Can you hear me?
yes. Yes, thank you.
Okay, just there was a lot of sound, so I muted you for a second. Great. So we have the next cohort here on this Pete Seeger salute, which is also a salute to all the frontline workers and doers all around us who are caregiving and provisioning and keeping society functioning in a time of lockdown, when those of us who are able to keep working or who can stay home, whether it's hard or easy, we rely on so many people these days who are normally not in the front line, not in everyone's eyesight, and who need to be honored and supported financially and otherwise in this amazing time. So with me today in this half hour, we have Claudia Gibson from Wimberley, Texas, who's works in a high school. I can't remember if it's high school.
I work in a high school, yeah, up in Austin, usually,
And-
9 months out of the year.
And Patrick Jones, who's a longtime friend of mine from the Hudson Valley, musician extraordinaire, one of the best guitar players on the planet, actually, and I don't say that lightly. And Lydia Adams Davis, who's a longtime performer in the region too, who's done wonderful work. And you'll hear from all of them in a minute. I believe Patrick Jones, you have the floor first. So what song? Patrick, you're muted right now, so you have to unmute yourself. Pat?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, good. Hey, everybody.
Good to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to do a song that Pete did, I think, with the Almanac Singers. But before I do that, I just want to quickly say, Andy, thank you for introducing me to such a great group of people. I met all of you through knowing Andy, and it's just an honor to really be part of this. So with this time, there's so many different issues I'm sure that everybody knows that we're confronted with. One of the things that struck me this week was the plight of the meat workers in the plants, where the governor is telling them that they have to go back to work even though they're hotspots for COVID. And it made me really think about, in terms of being green, that maybe looking at really a vegetable or plant-based diet
Yep.
might be something that could really help us. So, with that being said, I'm going to jump right into something real quick. It's
Yep.
called "I Don't Want Your Millions, Mister."
Go for it.
Well, I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want your diamond ring. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again. Now we worked hard to build this country, mister. While you enjoy the life of ease, you're taking all that we built, mister. Now my children can hardly breathe. Well, I don't want your Rolls Royce, mister. I don't want your pleasure yacht. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give to me my old job back. All right. No, I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want no diamond ring. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again. Give me back my job again.
Oh man, why have we not played that one at one of our Breakneck Ridge review sets yet? That's what I want to know.
Well,
Jeez.
we're going to have to do that.
What a great rendition! It's a great song that I've heard 1,000 times, but I love that the way you pumped it up with that slide.
No, thank you, Andy.
Holy mackerel!
So let's hear from somebody else.
Yeah,
and
so
I just want to say I'm going to run downstairs. I think there might be somebody I'd like to bring up.
Okay.
Yeah, I texted you. Maybe it's a surprise.
Yeah. Okay. And so, Lydia, what's going on in your world these days? We like to introduce folks to, with some sense of what you're about.
Hi, Andy. I hope you can hear me.
Yep.
Oh, goody. You may know that I live in Beacon, and I've been doing some shows online with People's Music Network. I think our next one is May 7th, and that's going to be a tribute to John Prine. Oh my God, am I nervous? Anyway, we started doing this show for Pete Seeger several years ago with Judy Allen and the Tompkins Corners people, and I'm just honored that I'm included here today. I met Pete first when I was about 17 in Lenox, Massachusetts, where I was going to school, and a friend of mine introduced me to him, and I heard his concert, and I was hooked. That was the rest of my life. I wasn't going to be an actress. I was going to be a folk singer. So the song I'd like to present today is a special one to me because Pete said, You don't have to just do folk music. You know, you can sing standards, you can sing show tunes. All you have to do is use your capo. So I actually remember every minute of him showing a few of us gathered on the knoll of the Beacon, where there's many folk festivals for the Beacon Sloop Club, and of course for Clearwater down in Croton. So it goes way back for me. And my relationship with Toshi was also very good. I felt honored that she actually liked me. She was a tough nut. She ran that show, and Pete would go out the door, and she said, well, Pete, you've got to take your banjo with you, that kind of thing.
Yep.
So, yeah. So the name of this song is Where Have All the Flowers Gone? You know what? Ben Seibert's here. He just reminded me, we're going to start with Where Have All the Flowers Gone? No, we're not? We're starting.
That's fine.
Guys. I'm not nervous.
Start with what's on your mind. So go with that song.
Yeah, well, I guess Where Have All the Flowers Gone is on my mind. But anyway, we're doing Blue Skies all by myself.
Okay.
Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies can I see. Bluebirds singing a song, nothing but bluebirds from now on. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Suddenly the days hurrying by, when you're in love, oh my, how they fly. Oh, blue birds, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on. Blue skies suddenly gray, nothing but blue skies, come and stay. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Suddenly the days are hurrying by, when you're in love, oh my, how they fly. Oh, blue days, all of them gone, nothing but blue skies from now on, nothing but blue skies from now on.
Great choice. I've heard him sing that, and it was a beautiful song. And as you're right, you're totally right about Pete. He could turn anything into a folk song.
Yep. Thanks.
Just reminding people that this is a session that's the 101st birthday of Pete Seeger. This is International Workers Weekend, we'll call it. It's many things. May Day just happened. We're in the middle of a pandemic, the first great pandemic of the 21st century. It won't be the last one. So we have to figure out how to build, not build, the word I keep saying lately, the prefix re, needs to be out of our vocabulary. Rebuilding is a little bit not what we need right now. We need to pro-build. We need to look at resilience and find ways to avoid the brittleness that led to this catastrophe that's still unfolding and that's so imbalanced in how it's affecting the world. Claudia Gibson, the floor is yours. The microphone is yours. So we've had you on here almost every week. It's been wonderful. You were a stalwart of the Hudson Valley before you moved down to Texas. So what song is on your mind today, and how are you doing? How are you doing, Claudia?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. Let me turn up my headphones a little so I can hear myself. I was looking for a second song to do. And I went through, because a lot of the songs I had already known were chosen. And I was looking through and listening to a lot of Pete Seeger music, and I uncovered the last album he did with Lori Wyatt, which was absolutely beautiful, which I had not known about. And you know, he was writing in his 90s some really amazing, amazing songs, and I can't wait to really dig into that album a little more. And this one just sort of really spoke to me, because it's almost as if he was looking back over his life when he wrote it. The song is Fields of Harmony. He wrote it with Lori Wyatt. It's an incredible story of how they got to write together, which people should look up. But I'm going to do this one. Over fields of harmony, over fields of harmony, over fields of harmony, I have flown through the fire and the flood, through the fire and the flood, through the fire and the flood. I have come. From the whirlwind came the words, from the whirlwind came the words, from the whirlwind came the words for my songs. All our years become a tale, all our years become a tale, all our years become a tale that is told. When my days have been consumed, when my days have been consumed, when my days have been consumed like smoke, I will lay me down to sleep, I will lay me down to sleep, I will lay me down to sleep in peace. Over fields of harmony, over fields of harmony, over fields of harmony, I will fly. Over fields of harmony, I will fly.
Wow. Beautiful. Really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
And you have mastered the art of online music, because the quality of the acoustics is wonderful.
Oh, thank you. That's the Yeti microphone. I got to give them a plug. I should like write to them and ask if I can, if they'll give me a whatever.
A spokes musician. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. But yeah, it works well. Yeah, but that I was just so floored that someone, in his 90s could just decide, I'm going to rediscover songwriting. And he had already written so many amazing songs that are just part of, all of our lives since we were itty bitty. And he wrote some great ones. So
yeah. So let's circle back to Patrick and see if you can sneak in another tune. We have about 10 more minutes in this mini set among our celebration of Pete Seeger's life and legacy. And so how you doing? And do you have another tune?
Yeah, I do have another tune. I'd like to do a song that was introduced to me by Danny Einbender. A lot of you people know Danny. Danny was responsible for me kind of meeting the extras from. Actually, I met Andy on the Mystic. I met Danny on the Mystic sale and met Andy, and then Danny introduced me to all these wonderful people here in Beacon. And so I just like to play a quick little thing. It's a short thing. It's about a river, and it's called Sailing Up My Dirty Stream. I'll start out with a tune called a little bit of an intro for about another river called Bonaparte Crossing the Rhine. Sailing up my dirty stream, still I love it, and I'll keep the dream that someday, though maybe not this year, my Hudson River will once again run free. It starts high in the mountains of the north, crystal clear, and I see trickles pour. Just a few floating wrappers of chewing gum, dropped by some hikers to warn of things to come. At Glens Falls, 5,000 honest hands work at the consolidated paper plant. 5 million gallons of waste a day. Why should we do it any other way? Now down the valley, 1 million toilet chains find my Hudson so convenient place to drain. And each little city says, who me? Do you think that sewage plants come free? Out in the ocean, they say the water's clear. Ah, but I live right at Beacon here, halfway between the mountains and the sea. Tacking to and fro, this thought returns to me, that I'm sailing up my dirty stream. Still I love it, and I'll keep the dream that someday, though maybe not this year, my Hudson River will once again run clear. That someday, though maybe not this year, my Hudson River and my country will run clear. Ah.
Great touch at the end there too.
Oh,
Beautiful song.
Thank you. Yeah,
Beautiful.
It made me cry the first time I heard it. It's been in my heart. So thank you, Andy.
So Lydia, do you have another short one that you can fit in?
Yes, it is all set to go. It is Where Have All the Flowers Gone? Sing along and thank you. It's also in German, and I'm joined by Ben Seibert. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Young girls pick them, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn.
Sag mir, wo die Mädchen sind. Wo sind sie geblieben? Sag mir, wo die Mädchen sind. Was ist geschehen? Sag mir, wo die Mädchen sind. Männer nahmen sie geschwind. Wann wird man je verstehen? Wann wird man je verstehen?
Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the soldiers gone? Gone to graveyards, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn? Where have the soldiers gone? Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time passing. Where have all the graveyards gone? Long time ago. Where have all the graveyards gone? Gone to flowers, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn?
Sag mir, wo die Blumen sind. Wo sind sie geblieben? Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Sag mir, wo die Blumen sind. Mädchen pflückten sie geschwind. When will they ever learn? Wann wird man je verstehen?
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for singing with me. Thanks, Andy. Hi, Pat.
Sorry, Pat just commented that Pete would be proud that Marlene Dietrich sang that song in German. He would sing the German version at our peace vigils, she said. That's wonderful. So we're going to get ready to transition to the next crew. And if those who are here, there might be some open slots late in the, before 1:30. So let's see how it goes then. Oh, wow, look at that. I think David Burns and Jacob have actually figured out the technology. Yes, they're coming. Patrick, we're going to say goodbye. And again, come back in if you can. And Lydia, same thing. Great to have you on, and that was wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And nice to meet you, Claudia.
You too.
I don't know you. Yeah.
And again, all of this is getting archived as soon as we're done. It becomes, YouTube video, Facebook video. It's on LinkedIn, at my LinkedIn page, and on Twitter as well. So share away. So take care. So Claudia, I think you have one more song as we transition to the next crew.
I
I'm
do.
going to start to invite on in a minute.
I'm going to do this classic. Turn, turn, turn.
Fantastic.
To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven. Time to be born, time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a reason, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a reason, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven.
Just glorious.
Thank you.
That was
And
just so glorious.
I realized as I was singing that I was missinging the words. There's a reason I put instead of season, but you know what? I think that fits too. So
I know. I just tweeted. I just tweeted about this.
You know. So and I never met Pete formally, but I used to see him on the train, and he came and sang at our Haldane school. And I lived in Cold Spring, and in the cafeteria, he was standing there singing during Common Threads, and I just was sort of like flabbergasted that the man whose songs I had been singing in a 5th grade play, Sailing Down My Dirty Stream, when I was at Airmont School in Suffern, there he was singing to my kids, you know,
Fantastic.
40 years later. Yeah. So thank you, Andy, for doing this. It's a thankless task to be a producer. So thanks so much.
And it's not something I remotely know how to do. So
well,
just
you're great.
Hold on. There's some background noise as we transition over.
So I'll say bye from Texas now.
Bye from Texas, but not gone forever. We'll have you back always.
Okay,
that was wonderful.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia Gibson. So again, this is a 101st birthday celebration of the life and legacy of Pete Seeger, but it's more than that. This is a celebration of the people who are taking care of all of us who have the fortune to be able to stay home and do our work if we have it at home. And it's just an incredible moment in human history right now. We don't, there's this thing called chronocentrism. I remember a historian once talked to me about every generation feels like it's special. Chronocentrism. This is a really special moment. We are in a crisis. It's got 2 characteristics that need to be addressed. The ones that are real time right now, staying home if you can, staying out of harm's way if you can, serving others if you can, communicating pathways to solutions, which is what I do at Columbia University, singing if you can, finding a way to stay employed as a singer if you can. It's never been quite like this, to have a biological catastrophe, an economic catastrophe, and these other events all unfolding, and a political catastrophe, really, if we allow that to happen at the same time. It's really an unprecedented challenge. Bob Killiam.
Yes, sir.
There's some really loud background noise in your room. I don't know if there's a fan running or something.
There is a fan running. I'll shut that off.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's
Okay, so I'd like to introduce who's on camera here. We have my good friends David and Jacob Burns from Beacon, New York, who are
Good morning.
who if it wasn't for David, I wouldn't be married to Lisa McKaylee, my wife of nearly a quarter century now. And if it wasn't for Pete Seeger, I don't think I would have met David because we met at the Beacon Sloop Club down on the waterfront in the Hudson River. And so, as I was saying earlier, Pete is not only the center of a circle of song, he's the center of a circle of love. Connie Hogarth had popped up on the comment stream before. We were saying how pivotal to this region she is as well. We're having a lot of love shed on us through the internet today. Yanni Tsili says it's not just a beautiful song, it's an amazing song. It eclipses anything Dylan has written about the last song that Claudia sang. And I would like to just start right in here with some tunes. So Claudia, thank you again for being here. And we'll see you soon. All right, so let's, David and Jake, I think you had the floor first. So have at it and tell us how you're doing, first of all.
Well, good morning. Can you hear us okay?
Sounds good.
All right. I think we're doing good considering what's going on in this planet. You know, there's a lot of people that are way less fortunate than us. We have a nice warm house to be in. Today, maybe we'll need a cool house. It's kind of warm out. So far, we've all steered clear of the virus. And, you know, so this song goes out to those who are maybe not as fortunate.
Go tell Adam now you're kicked out of the garden. Oh, we go tell Adam now you're kicked out of the garden. Been wandering from shore to shore. Now you find there is no more. Oh, Hajime Terrace, Mir Shanti Salahiwa.
If you're gonna have great love, you got to have great anger. If you're gonna have great love, you got to have great anger. I see innocent folks shot down. Should I just hang my head and frown? Oh, Hajime Terrace, Mir Shanti Salahiwa.
Gonna hit the target square, you better not have anger. If you're gonna hit the target square, you better not have blind anger. Or also be just one more time, the correction creates another crime.
Oh, Hajime Terrace, Mir Shanti Salahiwa. Music alone would only bring peace, then I'd only be a musician. If music would only bring peace, I'd only be a musician. If words could only heal the pain, if melodies could break these chains. Oh, Hajime Terrace, Mir Shanti Salahiwa.
Oh, Hajime Terrace, Mir Shanti Salahiwa.
1,000 languages in this world means the same thing to every boy and girl. Oh, Hajime Terrace, Mir Shanti Salahiwa. Oh, Hajime Terrace, Mir Shanti Salahiwa. We got to get working on the building, got to build a better home for all of God's children. Oh, Hajime Terrace, Mir Shanti Salahiwa.
Beautiful. Great song. I forgot to reintroduce Donna and Rick Nestler, who are in the Catskills, who have been on here, stalwart regulars on this show. If you unmute and say hi, that'd be awesome.
It's our Sunday morning date.
And I know it's so cool that Rick got like shaved and haircutted sometime in the last couple of weeks, which is something I'm way overdue to do. And how are things in the Catskills?
It's a gorgeous day. We're facing a dilemma that, as you know, we're in an area where a lot of camps open up in the summer, and
Right.
people, we tripled the size of our county population, and we're trying to convince the county it's not a good idea yet, until testing's in place, until because we have one hospital and it has 154 beds.
I know
Oh.
this issue, what has swept through the big cities and obviously is centered in New York City. It's harder in rural communities to respond. It's also harder to understand for many people in communities why things have to be so constricted. You're seeing incredible polarization, really harmful use of social media has I think inflamed some of the rebellion around the need to keep this virus constrained. And unfortunately, the only way this dates back from the Spanish flu. The idea of social contact distancing is not new science. This is how you have to do it with a virus that spread from China to the Amazon rainforest in 4 months by contact from one person to another, and people jumping on planes and stuff. So what's the song that you have on mind? We're going to circle through here and get to Bob Killian next, and then back to David and you guys and etc.
David will recognize this one.
I'm sure we all will.
Well, this is a song that Pete actually started. David could actually tell you closer to the date, but in the early 2000s, he stole a melody from Stephen Foster, Old Uncle Ned, and then wrote a little ode to his boat, the Woody Guthrie, which he eventually donated to the Beacon Sloop Club. I got a hold of the first verse and chorus, which is all that Pete wrote, and I decided to finish up the song. However, when I went to discuss with David the possibility of copywriting the song under Pete's name, along with mine, it turned out that David actually wrote more verses to it than I did long before. So when we copyrighted the song, we threw in all the verses, and we let the general public decide what they want, if they want to, which verses they want to sing. Personally, I haven't learned David's verses yet, so I'll just be singing the version that showed up on the last album I sang with Rick Polari, the Ricks, Steering Pete's Course. This encompasses all of the lessons I learned from Pete sailing with him on the Woody Guthrie over about a 10-year period.
It's in G.
She's got a cast iron keel with planks of oak, a mast of yellow pine, a big cockpit for 10 or more folks. She suits us all just fine. So raise the main and back the jib. Let's head out to Newburgh Bay. The sloop Woody Guthrie is a fine little boat. We're all set to sail away. We're headed down the river today, setting sail to make it to Cold Spring. The wind's on the nose and we'll be tacking all the way till we get across from Old Storm King. So raise the main and back the jib. Let's head out to Newburgh Bay. The sloop Woody Guthrie is a fine little boat. We're all set to sail away. Sometimes the wind's against you, and sometimes it is your friend. Sometimes the wind just fails. Remember, you can't change the wind in the end, but you can always adjust the sails. So raise the main and back the jib. Let's head out to Newburgh Bay. The sloop Woody Guthrie is a fine little boat. We're all set to sail away. You can't sail upwind going straight ahead. You sail off at an angle to and fro. You use what opposes you to gain your goal instead. That's a secret every sailor does know. So raise the main and back the jib. Let's head out to Newburgh Bay. The sloop Woody Guthrie is a fine little boat. We're all set to sail away. Yes, raise the main and back the jib. Let's head out to Newburgh Bay. This sloop Woody Guthrie is a fine little boat. We're all set to sail away.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
So, Bob Killian, if you can unmute and we can, let's see, here we go. So how are you doing? Tell folks where you are in the world and a little bit about your relationship to Pete.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, it's a little echoey, but we hear you.
Oh, it's a little echoey. Okay.
Is there reverb? Is there reverb on your system?
There is a little bit.
You might want to cut that.
Is that a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm talking to you from Venice, Florida, on the Gulf Coast, about 60 miles south of Tampa. And Pete was an incredible influence in my life. I probably knew him for over 40 years. Somehow I ended up sailing on the boat. I was invited to sail on the boat, and for one day going down from Albany to Kingston on the second pumpkin sale. And halfway down, one of the crew members who was volunteer said that she had to leave and would I want to take her place. So I went to the captain and he said, sure, you can take her place. So I ended up staying for a week. And then at the end of the week, I started singing in some of the festivals, and the crew invited me, Captain Frank Folchiero invited me to stay on the boat. So I ended up getting out off in South Street Seaport. And that was the beginning of it. But then I ended up living up at Pete's for 6 months while we did the first Sloop Singers album. And I worked there on that. And after the album was done, Pete said that he had this idea about doing a shad festival sale similar to what the pumpkin sale was. You know, the pumpkins are, we sailed down the river, stopping at all the towns and getting everybody to come down to the river so they could see what a beautiful place it was and probably take a hand in cleaning it up. And then there was, in the springtime, the shad came up the river to spawn. So he had this idea of doing a festival in the springtime. So I organized that, and that's how I ended up living with him and Toshi for 6 months. And then my Clearwater connection went on and on for a long time. I went down to New Jersey and started a group there, a Clearwater offshoot, and which is still going to this day. It's going to be 45 years this year down there.
Fantastic.
So I had a long relationship with Pete, and it's so nice to see David and Jacob and Rick and Donna, longtime friends, longtime sailing partners with me.
All right, so let's hear a tune.
Okay. Well, you know, Pete was one for picking up things wherever he could. He had a lot of different things, like, you know, the melody from Where Have All the Flowers Gone is, I believe it's either a Russian folk song or a German song. Abi Yo-Yo, of course, came from Africa. and Wimbaway came from Africa. And I don't know what year it was that this little piece came out, but he read a piece, and I think it was published in the New Yorker magazine. It was written by a man named Calvin Trillin, and was called the Ross Perot Guide to Answering Embarrassing Questions. And it's got a great chorus, and if you'd like to sing along on the chorus, I hope you will. When something in my history is found that contradicts the views that I propound, or shows that I perhaps am not the guy I claim to be, here's what I usually do. I lie. I simply boldly falsify. I look the other fella in the eye and just deny. I lie. I don't apologize, not me instead. I say I never said the things I said. Or did I do the things some people saw me do when confronted by the things they know are true? Everybody, I lie. I simply boldly falsify. I look the other fella in the eye and just rely. I hate those weaselly words some slickies use to hide their past or muddy up their views. Not me, I'm blunt. One thing that makes me great is that I'll never dodge, nor will I obfuscate. Sing it. I lie. I simply boldly falsify. I look the other fella in the eye and just deny. I lie. One more time, let me hear you all sing it now. I lie. I simply boldly falsify. I look the other fella in the eye and just deny. I lie. I'd like to dedicate that to POTUS.
Yeah, that one has certainly some resonance these days. I noticed that Buddy Miller and Julie Miller, his wife, did a song about bleach. Don't drink bleach. It's a really hilarious one. There's so much music. David Burns and it has this song he did on a Wimaway, actually. It's in the White House, the mighty White House, a liar tweets tonight. You might want to sing that before the day is out, David. I don't know. And that got picked up. Now Bob Zimmerman did a version that's had millions of views. So there you go. Let's circle back to David and Jacob. And by the way, we can go a little long. We're going to be joined by Jim Scott shortly, but there were some empty slots after him. So, if you guys can spill into the next half hour, I think that'll work out okay. So David and Jacob.
Quick question. Are you seeing our video and audio at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay. We weren't sure.
Yeah, it looks good.
If there was a lag.
Seems pretty good to me.
You're upside down to us.
Here's Elizabeth Ryder says, glad to be catching a bit of this during lunch at work. At work. Oh, boy. Elizabeth, hang in there.
Well, what are we going to do, Jacob?
We're going to do an old Clearwater classic that we thought would be a good one to choose now. My dad's going to lead it, and we'll give it a spin.
Clear waters on the green. Clear waters on the green. It's a long haul. You better believe. But old clear water got a mighty big sail. All made to go high. We're gonna hoist her high now without fail. All made to go high. Hey, clear water. All made to go high. Hey, clear water. All made to go high. Albany's up and the battery's down. All made to go high. Now we're heading to Kingston town. All made to go high. Hey, clear water. All made to go high. Hey, clear water. All made to go high. Little piece of pumpkin and a little piece of pie. All made to go high. I'm gonna see clear water before I die. All made to go high. Well, we're all staying at home, we're staying in town. All made to go high. Either 6 feet apart or 6 feet down. All made to go high. Hey, clear water. All made to go high. Hey, clear water. All made to go high. Clear waters on the clear waters on the and it's a long haul. You better believe.
That was awesome. I'm showing a picture of the sloop right now, and just a reminder that this boat is in deep trouble. That so many things are in deep trouble right now, financially. Lots of nonprofit organizations, but the sloop had just gone through a major rehabilitation. There was a major fundraising effort. It's struggling, and it's such a valuable environmental education platform up and down the Hudson River, right through to New York City and beyond. It's been around since the 60s. And of course, it has much wider value, well beyond the Hudson River, as a symbol of what is possible with cleaning a river and cleaning our environment generally. So hopefully you'll support clearwater.org. Go to clearwater.org, and a few bucks even will make a difference. This is all in honor of Pete Seeger's 101st birthday. We all knew him. We all loved him. And his circle of song resonates on, which is what keeps me going through the day. These hard days, music and the arts generally are underappreciated as part of the sustainability strategy going forward. So we're going to bring in Jim Scott, and rather than ending the circle that we had this last half hour, we're going to extend it into the next half hour because we have some spaces available. And I hope people are still out there listening. If you're listening, please share your Facebook. Share this event right now. It's live for another hour or so. Share this with others on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. I really want to hear from the LinkedIn crowd out there. I just started this streaming on LinkedIn too. I don't think comments from there get posted here directly, but try to find a way to let me know you're out there. That'd be good. And so let's circle back again to Rick and Donna in the Catskills. And by the way, Jim Scott he's joining us here now. You'll hear from him in a couple minutes. We're going to hear another one from Bob Killian, and then we're going to go to Jim. So Rick and Donna, what's on your musical plate there?
We're trying something new. What?
Wait, you're folkies. You're not supposed to try something new.
Well, because Rick found out that we were feeding back, we were trying to plug in headphones while we're playing.
I,
So
I
that's
don't.
where we're at.
I think you're playing. I haven't heard feedback. Oh, now I'm hearing it actually.
Okay. So we're plugging in headphones. Neither of us are wearing them, though. I have to tell you that I've come to the conclusion I look great in a mask, and boy, do I sound wonderful muted. Okay.
By the way,
Can you hear us?
if we all mute, then you should be fine. And I think we're all. I'm just going to mute Jim.
Okay. Here we go. It's in the key of C if you want to play and sing along. When I think of the ways that I've grown, you know I couldn't have made it alone. I owe a lot to the sharing, caring, daring, wonderful friends that I know. I owe a lot to the sharing, caring, daring, wonderful friends that I know. Here we are, all in one place, all gathered together virtually. We've helped each other down the road, but whether the weather, we have no need for pots of gold, for friends are a treasure. So hold hands and sing it again. When I think of the ways that I've grown, you know I couldn't have made it alone. I owe a lot to the sharing, caring, daring, wonderful friends that I know. I owe a lot to the sharing, caring, daring, wonderful friends that I know. Many years ago when I was feeling discouraged, I found that singing with my friends would fill me with courage. It's a rough and rocky road we're on, so when we get worried, just hold hands and sing it again. When I think of the ways that I've grown, you know I couldn't have made it alone. I owe a lot to the sharing, caring, daring, wonderful friends that I know. I owe a lot to the sharing, caring, daring, wonderful friends that I know. When I think of the ways that I've grown, you know I couldn't have made it alone. I owe a lot to the sharing, caring, daring, wonderful friends that I know. I owe a lot to the sharing, caring, daring, wonderful friends that I know. Looks like we could sing all night, but looks are deceiving. That old clock upon the wall says soon. And though we go our separate ways, there's no need for dreaming. Just hold hands and sing it again. When I think of the ways that I've grown, you know I couldn't have made it alone. I owe a lot to the sharing, caring, daring, wonderful friends that I know. I owe a lot to the sharing, caring, daring, wonderful friends that I know. I owe a lot to the sharing, caring, daring, wonderful friends that I know.
We all owe a lot to our friends, especially this clutch of musical friends are so special to me, and I think everyone here would agree that music makes the world go round. I'd like to bring in Jim Scott, who, Jim, can you hear us okay? Let's see if we can hear you. Are you mute? Let me make sure you're unmuted. Oh, there we go. So Jim, thank you for contributing to that collage video we did to introduce this online yesterday.
Well, that was fun. Thanks.
It worked out pretty well. I'm not remotely good at video editing, so I could only do 4 of you. But I thought it worked pretty darn well. It was kind of cool.
Well, nice to play with Joseph from so far away.
I know, and he was on earlier today, and the technology favored us, and he did a couple of beautiful songs. Yeah. So Jim, tell us a little bit about what was your link to Pete, and give us a song, and then we'll circle back through.
Well, I knew Pete on and off for about 40 years. I met Pete first with the Paul Winter Consort, and we played together, and then it just seemed like a sequence of things. A few weeks later, I was at Riverside Church in New York, and there was Pete, and then at another folk festival, and there was Pete. And I've made a big book called the Earth and Spirit Songbook, and Pete was a big help with that. He said, well, you need the song by such and this person, and do you know this song, and do you know that person? And there's several of his songs in the book too. It's 110 songs of Earth. And I'll mention I'm working on a new one. I'm working on a sequel book. That one's been out for 17 years. Wow. And all kinds of new things have happened in that time. So I'm open to good Earth songs. I already have too many, but always looking for more. My screen just went sort of dark. Are you still there?
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, good. Well, I'd like to play this song that Pete wrote in 1964, but it's still, as with all these songs, we wish they could get old and we'd retire them, but it's a good, funny song anyway, all mixed up. You know, this language that we speak is part German, part Latin, and part Greek, with some Celtic and Arabic and Scandinavian, all in a heap. Well amended by the people in the street. Choctaw gave us the word okay. Vamoose is a word from Mexico way. And all of this is a hint, I suspect, of what comes next. I think that this whole world soon, mama, my whole wide world. Soon, mama, my whole world. Soon, mama, we get mixed up. I like pole sausage, I like Spanish rice. Pizza pie is also nice. Corn and beans from the Indians here, all washed down by some German beer. Marco Polo traveled by camel and pony, brought to Italy the first macaroni. And you and I, as well as we're able, put it all on the table. I think that this whole world soon, mama, my whole wide world. Soon, mama, my whole world. Soon, mama, we get mixed up. There were no red-headed Irishmen before the Vikings landed in Ireland. How many Romans had dark curly hair before they brought slaves from Africa? No race on earth is completely pure, nor is anyone's mind, and that's for sure. The winds mix the dust of every land, and so will woman and man. I think that this whole world soon, mama, my whole wide world. Soon, mama, my whole world. Soon, mama, we get mixed up. Oh, this doesn't mean we will be the same. We'll have different faces and different names. Long live many kinds of different races. The difference of opinion that makes horse races. Just remember the rule about rules, brother. What's right with one is wrong with another. And take a tip from the Belfast. Viva la différence. I think that this whole world soon, mama, my whole wide world. Soon, mama, my whole world. Soon, mama, we get mixed up. I think that this whole world soon, mama, my whole wide world. Soon, mama, my whole world. Soon, mama, we get mixed up.
Fantastic. Whoops.
I gotta see if I can get the light back on.
That was fantastic. That reminds me of English is So Crazy, another Pete song.
Yeah.
That's fantastic tune.
Well, I
And
know
boy,
around
you're
1964, I mean, consider the Beatles arrive in America and Bob Dylan and all that, but there's a lot of Latin music on the radio too, you know. So somewhere in that milieu, Pete writes that, and I believe that's the time he took his kids out of school and he went on a world tour. We still didn't let him on television.
amazing. And so, what do you do when you're not singing?
What do I do when I'm not singing? I sit at the computer hours and hours a day, try to get myself booked and invent something new to do.
And have you found your way forward in this digital moment?
I'm doing Wednesday night concerts now. I've done 2, and I'm going to make it a tradition. 9 p.m., so a bit late on the East Coast, but to accommodate friends all the way to the West Coast. Actually, I've had some people tuning in from other countries. It's wonderful. So I'm doing a short hour concert every week. This week is going to be about connections. I did a Pete Seeger one this past week, and the week before was Earth Day. This week will be connections and Mother's Day and family and stuff. So I guess we're all doing it. Everybody doing it? Everybody's doing it.
So that's Pacific time, 9 p.m.
9 p.m. on Facebook, and I'm going to use the platform that you're using. I'm losing the name.
StreamYard. Yeah.
StreamYard. You've just introduced me to it, and so I can go on my 2 Facebook pages and go on YouTube at the same time, and so that'll be a new step. I hope I get that working this week.
It's it's a learning curve for all of us. I stumbled onto it March 15th. I've been using it, and the paid version is gets you 6, I think 5 or 6 simultaneous streams.
Really?
So it's an experiment. But here we are. Let's keep the music flowing. This has been a wonderful. We're doing this, extending the 12 to 12:30 cohort are joining you here, and Eric Greenberg is going to come in for a minute. Here's Eric Greenberg,
Andy,
who may be new to all of you. I've gotten to know Eric.
Not everything Andy Revkin is saying is audible here. Is that just us?
Oh, I hope that's not a problem. Jim, can you hear me?
I hear you all fine.
Can you hear me, Andy?
I hear.
I hear you fine.
Eric, I hear you.
You're back.
David, I think. Can you hear us?
Okay, you're good.
David.
It's good to be heard. We're in that lunchtime hour now, so I want to introduce Eric Greenberg, we're
not hearing you, Andy.
You're not. Okay, well, then you have
My wife downstairs is hearing you, but we're not.
So I'm gonna boot you, and you can come back in. All right. They'll relaunch in a minute. Eric Greenberg, best known as a longtime Daily News reporter, right, for decades, and then you've moved into, I'm hoping it's the Daily News.
Yes, it was. We were. It's a pleasure to be here, Andy. We were both environmental reporters at New York newspapers, and then I found recently that Andy and I share also other things besides disaster preparedness and climate crisis, but music. So
Eric's at Columbia University at the National Center for Disaster Preparedness, which has been a very, very busy place, sadly and predictably.
Yeah.
And he's helping to communicate impact solutions in this incredible time. But also, Eric, you have a long tradition in folk music, and you're buddies with some guy named Gordon Lightfoot. Is that correct? Whoop. Did he freeze?
And we became friends and have been continued over the years. Been up to his home and hanging out with him.
Oh, yeah, right.
The Canadian way of saying hanging out. Yeah.
Well, why don't we let's get Bob Killian, another song from Bob Killian down. You're in Florida. We've had so many people come and go. I'm trying to keep track of everything. Bob's in Venice, near Venice, California. And if you could offer another tune, then we'll hear from Eric in a few minutes too, and go around the circle one more time. And David and Jacob, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
you're much better now.
Okay, there we go.
I think the website glitched or something.
All good. So, Bob, the floor is yours down in Florida.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
I hear you.
Oh, good. Well, Pete is he's really a seminal influence on my life, and I never actually wrote a song with him, but he did write a couple of verses to a song that I did write. And he printed them in Sing Out magazine, but that's not the song I'm going to do now. I just recently put a song together as a tribute to Pete, and I call it The Weaver. He was a weaver of words. He was a weaver of words. Words of peace in your soul. Words of hearts that are whole. He was a weaver of words. And he sang about you, and he sang about me, and his words all rang true of a world that is free, free from hunger and war, free from racism's hate, with no rich and no poor, where there is no waste, where its bounty is shared by the whole human race. He was a weaver of words. And he sang about you, and he sang about me, and his words all rang true of a world that is free, free from hunger and war, free from racism's hate, with no rich and no poor, where there is no waste, where earth's bounty is shared by the whole human race. He was a weaver of words.
That was really sweet.
Thank you. If anybody wants to see it, there's a slideshow that goes with it. It's on YouTube. The Weaver put The Weaver, Robert Killian, or it's also on my Facebook page too.
That's great. I'll tweet about this later and get it reposted on Facebook and try
Thank
to
you.
feature some of the work you're all doing. Jim Scott, I'm going to circle back to you in a minute, but maybe Eric, who has not sung yet. Eric, do you have a tune you want to contribute?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, Andy. So my good friend Orthodox rabbi named Joel Dinnerstein used to sail every year with Pete and tell me these wonderful stories about Pete Seeger. So that's where I got a lot of my information about Pete, from this rabbi, which is kind of weird. And Joel and I then used to go to his basement office and listen to Gordon Lightfoot songs as well. So this all comes together here. I'm going to do a Lightfoot song that talks about sailing.
Great.
With a ladylike devotion, she sails the bitter ocean. If it wasn't for lovesick sailors, there'd be nothing left for flotsam, singing, why, me oh my, is there a better man than I? I hope you find your way back home before you line high and dry. I hope you find your way back home before you die. Does. If she was so fond of the weather, she might give the deckhands trouble, singing, why, me oh my, is there a better man than I? I hope you find your way back home before you lie high and dry. I hope you find your way back home before you die. One day when I grew older, I found I could not hold her. She took on a fine young skipper who soon run her up on a boulder, singing, why, me oh my, is there a better man than I? I hope you find your way back home before you lie. Before you die. Now the pleasures of the harbor don't include a lady barber. If you want so fine the weather, she might give the deckhands trouble, singing, why, me oh my, is there a I hope you find your way back home before you lie now high and dry. I hope you find your way back home before you die.
Cool. There was a little bit of a lag on a couple spots, but it came through okay. It's good.
Thank you. Those were the parts I made mistakes.
Is that how it works? It's like it automatically cuts out the mistakes. We all need that. I need that every day. Something that cuts out the mistakes. Let's see, Jim. You've done one so far. I'd love to hear another one from you.
Well, thanks. I don't want to say a downer, but this is a pretty serious song here. Nassim Hikmat wrote words about a young girl who dies when the nuclear bomb is dropped on Japan, and gets translated to English by Jeanette Turner, and she gets it into the hands of Pete Seeger eventually, who sets it to music. And he set it to a tune that is that some of us know as a tune, the great Silky, the Scottish legends of the Silkies, and the seals are so human-like that when the moon is right, they come to land. And just one line of that to show you. I am a man upon the land. I am a seal upon the sea, like that. It's a beautiful song like that too. But with these words, it takes on a whole different persona. I get a little fogged up when I sing these words. I come and stand at every door, but none can hear my silent tread. I knock and yet remain unseen, for I am dead, for I am dead. I'm only 7, though I died in Hiroshima long ago. I'm 7 now, as I was then. when children die, they do not grow. My hair was scorched by swirling flames. My eyes grew dim, my eyes grew blind. Death came and turned my bones to dust, and that was scattered by the wind. I need no fruit, I need no rice, I need no sweets or even bread. I ask for nothing for myself, for I am dead, for I am dead. All that I ask is that for peace you fight today, you fight today, so that the children of this earth may live and grow and laugh and play.
Really beautiful. I love the way you've integrated that fine guitar playing. You know, it's hard to do that. You've
Misspent
mastered it.
youth. What can we say?
Very funny. Let's see. David and Jesse David and Jacob were having some trouble, but I think they're back.
Hey, David.
Can you unmute Jacob?
Yeah, can you hear us?
We can. Can you hear me?
Yes. For the
Awesome.
longest time we couldn't, and so we kept logging on. And thank you for keep dragging us in from the waiting room.
I'll drag you in. Yeah, well, how could I not drag you in? As I was saying earlier, David, you've not only been a wonderful musical presence in my life, but if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be married to the woman I've been married to for a quarter century. So I owe you a lot. You guys have
welcome. I owe you a lot too.
Do you guys have a tune?
Yeah, here's one. Let's see. C sharp.
I think I'll throw in one in a minute too.
While he's tuning to me, I'll say this is a new tune, but you know, it's sort of in the trajectory, if you know what I'm saying. And it was just completed several days ago, maybe 10 days ago, because of this time that we're in. And some of you may have heard it because I put a movie up on YouTube, but we tune because we care.
You're between seats.
Am I between seats? I picked up this old Yamaha because it's all that was laying around up here. So thank you, Jacob, for putting up with that.
If you have some more tuning to do, I'll go to Rick and Donna for one, and then you guys can come back.
You know, that would be a nice thing. Instead of making the whole world listen to us tune, yeah, let's do that.
The
right.
fourth string.
Oh.
So Rick and Donna, hold on. Whoops. You were there? I think you have to unmute. Yep. There
We're
we go.
here.
You asked for this one, Andy.
You asked for it? There we go.
Literally, you requested it.
I remember.
Well, happy belated May Day to all the union workers out there.
We are Local 1000, AFM, and New York State United Teachers. Here I am.
Bravo.
I've traveled around this country from shore to shining shore, and it really made me wonder what I heard and what I saw.
I saw the weary farmer plowing up his loan, and I heard that auction hammer knocking down his little home. But the banks are made of marble, with a guard at every door, and the vaults are stuffed with silver that the farmer sweated for. And I've seen the weary miner scrubbing coal dust from his back, and I've heard his children saying, we got no coal to heat the shack. But the banks are made of marble, with a guard at every door, and the vaults are stuffed with silver that the miners sweated for. Well, I've seen the weary seamen standing idly by the shore, and I've heard the bosses saying, we got no work for you no more. But the banks are made of marble, with a guard at every door, and the vaults are stuffed with silver that the sea has sweated for. So there's good people working all across this mighty land, and I prayed we'd get together and together make a stand. Then we'll own those banks of marble, there'll be no guard at any door, and we'll share those vaults of silver that the people sweated for. Yes, we'll own those banks of marble, there'll be no guard at any door, and we'll share those vaults of silver that the people sweated for.
One of my favorites, as I said, one of my favorites. And I hope we'll be able to perform that one soon live again. We may try to do a socially distanced live in-person set jam somewhere. There are some nice open spaces around here where we can try that at a distance. So let's see how that all works. There are a couple more people who've circled back into our studio. Bob Killiam and Jim Scott. I'm going to bring Bob back in one more time to say thank you very much for being part of this. We have Betty Boomer and Karen Brooks are going to circle back in, and we have limited, we can only have like 6 people on camera one time. So thank you, Bob, for being here from Florida, and wonderful tunes. Let's do this again.
Okay, Andy, anytime. Thank you so much. And to all my friends up there and everyone, stay safe. We will get through this thing.
Absolutely.
And it'll be a great time to see you again when we all meet again sometime. Maybe we'll get that revival happening again. Take care.
We'll revive it. And by the way, Bob, every Sunday at this 10:30 to 12:30, we do a song and story swap. So this is not just a Pete Seeger thing. This is a weekly thing. So we'd love to have you back.
Well, I'd love to be back. Thank you, Andy, and thanks for doing it. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
So hold on. I see Karen and Betty Boomer. So this is our grand finale, the next 20 minutes or so. This is,
Hi, Betty. Yay.
This has been a really a pleasure for me just to see so many people, connecting virtually. Jim Scott, I just want to know, I just want Jim to know that we've had to, because we can only have 6 people live on screen, can't have Jim circle back here. So Jim, it was great to have you on, and we will hopefully have you back here. As I said to Bob Killian, this is a weekly song and story swap. So thank you. I'm just going to actually. So Jim, I just want to say thanks for being part of this.
Yes,
I have to.
It was a great pleasure and honor to be with all you guys and ladies and gentlemen.
Then I'll tune in for your. I'll try to catch you one of your. Is it 9 p.m. Pacific time? I just want to be sure.
9 p.m. Eastern time.
9 Eastern.
6 p.m. Pacific time. Wednesday nights. It'll be Facebook Live and maybe YouTube as well this week.
Great. Okay. So thank you again for being with us.
A pleasure. A pleasure. Thank you.
Right. Bye-bye. So hello again, Betty.
Hi.
Hey, Betty.
Hi there. I love, Rico, your absence of beard. I think it's great.
He's clean and neat. How could that possibly be?
It's Rico.
Well, I had the time to get rid of it.
I can relate.
So, Betty, are you in a position to sing a tune?
I am, and I am like I always am, a little unprepared, but I thought of this song, and as long as nobody's done Pat Humphries' Sing People Sing, I'd like to do it without any accompaniment. I should have practiced the mandolin, but I don't do that. Maybe someday. So,
great.
This was from Pat and Emma's Revolution, and maybe Sandy. I don't know who. I think it's basically Pat. So, when I was 4, I had a toy made of plastic and of joy, a magic musical machine from a drum, a stick, a string. I didn't know when I would play, I'd live to meet the man one day, playing songs that shaped my life and taught the world to sing. Oh, hear the banjo ring, hear the people sing. Hope changes everything. Sing, people, sing. The summer of my 18th year, in San Francisco he'd appear. I jumped upon a trolley car, alone and wondering. People came from everywhere. I climbed a redwood by the stair to watch the reveling. So the chorus is, oh, hear the banjo ring. Hear the people sing. Hope changes everything. Sing, people, sing. Years went by, I got a call, a festival in early fall, along the Hudson River shore, a harvest gathering, asking me to volunteer to keep the river clean and clear, celebrate the river's life and all the gifts she brings. Oh, hear the banjo ring, hear the people sing. Hope changes everything. Sing, people, sing. You stood up to McCarthy's rage, rallied for a living wage, walked a road with Woody, marched with Dr. King. You patiently brought us along, taught us each and every song. With Toshi by your side, you could do most anything. You showed the world how it could be, living with integrity. Together we'd create a force beyond imagining. As I observed your dimming light, I felt a spark in me ignite. But I would trade it all today to hear your banjo ring. Oh, Hear the people sing. Hear the people sing. Hope changes everything. Sing, people, sing. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Toshi, for bringing us all along. Thank you all for doing this.
That was beautiful, Betty. I love that. Oh, that's so gorgeous.
Truly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Truly. So, Karen, I'm glad you're able to rejoin us too. How are the sheep doing?
Everybody was fine. I had to bottle feed at 11, so he was hungry. Everybody's good. Yeah, it's sunny. It's a big difference when it's sunny and they're outside.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah,
it's beautiful to see that. We've had a cold stretch, rainy and cold
It's really
stretch.
been long. Yeah.
So, Karen, do you have a tune before
I
we
was-
wrap this up? Because you had
I
that one
was-
brief moment earlier.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing Power and Glory. Does that seem like a good tune for today?
Oh my God. Well, yeah, like duh.
I was thinking there's some new meaning to all those states that it lists in there. Like I could rewrite that verse, but I'm not going to.
Oh my God.
So this was a favorite song of Pete's. Phil Oakes wrote it, but Pete loved it. He always asked me to sing it. Come on and take a walk with me through this green and growing land. Walk through the meadows and the mountains and the sand. Walk through the valleys and the rivers and the plains. Walk through the sun and walk through the rain. Here is a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. Oh, her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Glory shall rest on us all. I guess we don't need these. From Colorado, Kansas, and the Carolinas to Virginia and Alaska, from the old to the new, Texas and Ohio and the California shore. Tell me who could ask for more? Here is the land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. Oh, her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Glory shall rest on us all. Yet she's only as rich as the power of the poor, only as free as a padlocked prison door, only as strong as enough for this land, only as tall as we stand. Here is a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. Oh, her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Glory shall rest on us all. Yet our land is still troubled by those who have to hate. They twist away our freedom and they twist away our fate. Fear is their weapon, treason is their cry. We can stop them if we try. Here is the land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. Oh, her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Glory shall rest on us all, on us all.
Fantastic. What a wonderful tune. Wonderful tune. So, Eric Greenberg, do you have another tune before we come toward a close here? Whoops, you're muted, I think. Let me see. Did I do that or did you do that?
And Andy, you're going to sing a song, right?
I will.
Am I back?
Yes.
I would.
Yeah,
you know
Eric,
what?
you're back.
I give up. Yeah, I'm back. As the newbie here, I give up my spot. I'd rather hear from you guys right now. This is like tremendous.
Okay. Well, let me do one that Pete really liked of mine about my stretch of the Hudson River, the Highlands, from Breakneck Ridge to the Bear Mountain Bridge, and doing it on a banjo that was built by Vic Schwartz, and of course signed by Pete a long time ago. Vic Schwartz and Pete Seeger together were the force that helped set aside a little bit of a park called Little Stony Point, littlestonypoint.org, which is a magical place that used to be a quarry loading zone on the Hudson River just a few decades ago, until a few decades ago. And now it's coming back as a park. It's closed off right now, but it'll be open again. Can you hear me okay? Does the sound okay? I came from old New England's shores. I miss those salty tides. My friends from Rocky Mountains high, they crave their starry skies. Some flock to California towns where sunsets glow like ale. But it's Hudson River banks and hills that make my soul set sail. From Breakneck Ridge to the Bear Mountain Bridge and all that lies between. In autumn's gold and winter snows and spring and summer's green. A billion years of time and toil are etched in these old hills, carved by ice and dynamite, but they stand firm here still. Seen tomahawks and cannon fire and mighty industries, but these Hudson Highlands will endure when we are history. From Breakneck Ridge to the Bear Mountain Bridge and all that lies between. In autumn's gold and winter snows and spring and summer's green. I've been around this whole wide world. I've been up toward the pole. But when I die, please let me lie in Hudson Valley soil. From Breakneck Ridge to the Bear Mountain Bridge and all that lies between. In autumn's gold and winter snows and spring and summer's green. One more time. From Breakneck Ridge to the Bear Mountain Bridge and all that lies between. In autumn's gold and winter snows and spring and summer's green.
Thank you, Andy.
Beautiful.
Great to be with you all. And we'll do this together, face to face. One more time. Well, many more times. So Eric, you said you want to give up your, well, yeah, we're getting down there.
David.
You guys take it.
Yeah, David Burns and Jacob, I would like you to maybe close this out, guys. What do you have on tap?
Well, I promised a song before that was sort of written for these times. Would it be okay if I close with that?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. And I hope everyone out there is thinking a lot about Pete Seeger, thinking a lot about the people we don't spend nearly enough damn time thinking about, the people who support every basic function in society that is undervalued, underpaid, underprotected. This is not just the surgeons and the pulmonologists and the respiratory therapists. It's all the way through the janitors, the stock takers, the people who make life possible that we just really have to focus on right now. So David and Jacob Burns, take it up.
Thank you, Andy, and thank you for doing this. And we'll even shout out also to John and Judy Allen, who organized the Tompkins Corners event that couldn't be done this year, but that kind of morphed into this. Well, the time has come upon us it rolled across the sky. Troubled winds are blowing, and the river is all run dry. The captains count their coppers for their own, while the judges let a jester steal the throne. And all the angels huddle, waiting for a note from home. Postmarked special handling and delivered to a box on 3rd and Main. We need the rain. We need the rain. We need the rain. We need the rain. Falling from above us all to cleanse our weary souls. We need the rain. So half of us went to the east, the other half went west, trying to find some solace in the homes we knew the best. But the door was locked and no one had the keys. Instead, it was a sign tacked to the tree. It said that we've all turned around and we hope we can agree to meet at the Wisconsin Bridge. We'll find out there if it can take the strain. We need the rain. We need the rain. We need the rain. We need the rain. My brothers and my sisters, we're all out here on this road. We need the rain. So I walked down into the town, into the Jackson store. The man there said, the soap's all gone and there won't be any more. Got nothing left to buy and nothing left to sell. Your money is no good here, but you know I wish you well. I know this ain't no heaven, but I pray it ain't no hell. If only I could fly into the sunlight, but I guess I'll take a train. We need the rain. We need the rain. We need the rain. We need the rain. Falling down from high above to wash away the stain. We need the rain. Well, I know that in the distance blows a wind from another time. I still smell its flowers, and I can taste its sweeter wine. But the boats all brought the bad news with the tide. And in the halls, the martyrs danced and cried for all the hearts that never got the chance to say goodbye. And someone raised a glass and said, was that a drop upon my window pane? We need the rain. Yes, we need the rain. We need the rain. Falling from above, we need the rain. To cleanse our weary souls, we need the rain. Just a little peace and love. My brothers and my sisters, we're all out here on this field. We need the rain.
Absolutely wonderful.
I just
We need the
love that
rain.
song. Oh.
So thank you all for being part of this Sustain What project of mine. It's been wonderful to have you along. And the Sunday sessions are, I call Unbroken Circle for obvious reasons. This is a production of Columbia University's Earth Institute, where I'm building an initiative on sustainability and communication. And the goal is to make information matter and make connectivity matter. We're in a world that's never been more connected, both in the way that this virus was able to move from Wuhan, China, through a chance interspecies moment of innovation. It spread around the world through our global connectedness that humanity has built. It's not the first, it's not the last virus or pathogen that's going to make a ruckus around the world. But connectivity is also there in how we communicate. Right now, this morning we had Joseph Pupi on from Lusaka, Zambia. We had Texas in the room. We had the Catskills in the room. We can broaden this conversation even more going forward. And I just thank these great musicians for being part of it. And tune in next Sunday. This is a weekly part of this program. On Monday, tomorrow, we move back into the tougher aspects. I'm going to have a live conversation with journalists in Sri Lanka and in Zimbabwe about the situation as this virus moves forward. Through the Global Press Journal, there's a wonderful organization, has more than 100 female journalists around the world who are trained and supported and published and translated into 7 languages. Global Press is a great enterprise, and it's great to be talking to them on Monday. And on the 7th, I'm pretty sure we're going to have a conversation on food insecurity and coronavirus, and more going forward. So thank you all for being part of this. Eric Greenberg, the Nestlers out in the Catskills, Karen Brooks in rural Massachusetts, David and Jacob Burns in Beacon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Betty Boomer in, Betty Boomer, who's putting on a mask. Wait, let's see. Yeah, there she is. And Eric Greenberg from the National Center for Disaster Preparedness, and a good friend of mine who's helping us all communicate more effectively around this coronavirus pandemic. Thank you all, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Say hi to